This is question 13 of session 63, where Don continues the questions. And again, the last one that he asked was the population of these entities that are coming into the Earth. 35,000 at that time. Don says, now these entities incarnate into a third density vibratory body. I'm trying to understand how this transition takes place from third to fourth density. I will take the example of one of these entities of which we are speaking, who is now in a third density body. He will grow older, and then will it be necessary that he die from third density physical body and reincarnate in a fourth density body for that transition? Ra says, these entities are those incarnating with what you may call a double body in activation. It will be noted that the entities birthing these four density entities experience a great feeling of, shall we say, the connection and the use of spiritual energies during pregnancy. This is due to the necessity for manifesting the double body. So let's make the first pause here, and Don is referring to how is the process of disincarnation. How are they different from us in terms of transitions? Because all humans are the same. We're all in the same vehicle, and so we have the same potential to experience this reality. And of course, to, let's say, evolve, right? But how is this different from a metaphysical perspective, which is really what we're getting into? And of course, the origin and the development of the entity does affect the physical reality as it is perceived by the entity. Like I like to use the example. A newly graduated second density entity that goes into third density for its first incarnation has a very naive and primitive view of the world. A human, full potential, but very ignorant way. It has no reference. It's just started its incarnation. Whereas somebody who comes as a wanderer, say, or has been on planet Earth for a while through who knows how many incarnations, then there's a huge difference there. So how is this difference in between the 3D graduates and us? That's basically what Don is asking. So Ra goes to explain in the first paragraph that, okay, so this is the double body in activation, and there's a couple of theories, speculation, and hypotheses about how does this happen? Can it happen here? I'll talk about that. And says that this dual activated body, okay, does affect the mother in. It creates an effect. It doesn't affect. Effect sounds like it's a negative thing. But it does create an effect on the mother that is carrying the child. And it's a feeling of sacredness or spiritual energies and this sensation of divinity. And it's interesting because I've heard these tells from people who are just not spiritual at all, and they just have this feeling. Or those who are just recognizing this and say, oh, I understand why I had this experience with my child. This is very common now, as it seems. So this is due to the necessity for manifesting the double body, which is the influence. To me, my interpretation is that there is an influence, of course, of the baby as it starts to form. The formation of the 3D physical body is carrying over the vibration of 4 density. So that impact in the mother is, I mean, you can't avoid that vibration. It's within you. It's your child. So it's just something that you can use your imagination for that. But obviously it does affect the mother, and of course they would feel 4 density vibrations. This is the sense of spiritual energies that Ra talks about. So they continue saying, this transitional body is one which will be, shall we say, able to appreciate 4 density vibratory complexes as the in-streaming increases, without the accompanying disruption of the 3rd density body. If a third density entity were, shall we say, electrically aware of fourth density in full, the third density electrical fields would fail due to incompatibility. To answer your query about death, these entities will die according to third density necessities. So here's where I'll throw my interpretation, because I've heard different interpretations and I can only give you mine. I urge you to create your own based on what you know so far. But this is how I can patch it all up. Let's start with the dual activated body. To me, and just to keep it simple, a dual activated body, based on what we know, this is just following as scientific as possible the understanding that we have, and then we can create all sorts of ideas and applications of it. But so far what we know is that a dual activated body is an entity who literally achieved harvest. That meaning that their 4 density body was activated. So they have a 4 density activated body. As opposed to say, my example of the 2D animal who has just graduated to 3rd density, its 4 density body is in potentiation, meaning that is in the process of being developed or further developed, but in this case, developed. It just activated its yellow body, which is human body. And so this 4 density activated body is just like Wanderers have all their bodies in activation. At least, well, it depends where they come from, but 6 density Wanderers, let's say, they have all their bodies activated already. But they come into 3rd density with a potentiated bodies, and this is why I believe that the Veil of Forgetting does create a sort of deeper illusion for everybody else. But the 4 density activated body gives the possibility of the individual to navigate 4th density. Let me rewind to something or refresh on something. Even though we're experiencing reality from a 3rd density perspective right now, the planet is 4 density positive already. Okay, so keep that in mind in the background. We are living in a 4 density positive planet within a 3rd density vehicle that has its limits in perceptions due to the veil, but it is a 4 density activated sphere already. And all we're doing is bringing humanity up to that vibration. It's happening. It's going to take hundreds of years, perhaps. It may take a decade. It may take a year. It may take a week. It may take a second. Or, like Ross said, several hundred years. But it will happen. And so in the 4 density background that we have vibration, then the dual activated body of this specific entity is able to navigate it easier. Like Ross says, without the disruption of 3rd density body. So this has been interpreted in many ways, especially in the New Age perception that we're going to, and this could be true, I just don't see it myself. I have a different view of things, especially with what Ross says, but there is the idea that we're going to transform ourselves into a light body. This may sound very poetic to me, to be honest, but to me, this is just a process. And just like a primate didn't completely transform into a full human, it needed DNA adaptations. I think the DNA adaptation to light body is going to happen over time, and things are just going to show more, and we're going to become more accustomed to this. That's just my 2 cents. I don't know. But what we do know is that it does make sense that those who come into 4 density as graduates, let me put it this way, it's almost like they are in their 4 density body, but they are manifested in 3rd density bodies as well, because they can't be in 4 density completely here. So that's why they need both bodies. Now, I had a conversation with Aaron Abke. Go watch it. I think it was our last one or second to last one. I forget. There's 2 of them. So in one of them, I know he told me about his theory that the dual activated body is something that we can also achieve here, which is the awakening of the Kundalini. This does make sense, you see, and this is what I like about people investigating into these topics, because we can get better ideas as to how things work. Now, the validity that I find in Apke's theory is that we can definitely see how the nurturing of the Kundalini energy, meaning that more energy flows to the heart, will allow us, whether we are activated in 4th density or not, we can allow the energies of the heart to be in consonant with the environment. The environment, again, the background I said, is 4th density. So this is one way of perceiving the activation of the 4th density body, which is the heart, or correlated to the heart chakra. And so this is how we can definitely say that dual activated bodies are a thing of those who have graduated from other planets here, and that because they need to have their early experience in 4th density as a 3rd density entity, they also activate their 3rd density body. And so they're living in both, with the privilege, of course, of having the nature or natural state of feeling the love and vibration, the loving vibration of this planet. To them is second nature. Let's just put it that way. That doesn't mean that the people who are here and don't have this special dual activated body cannot do the same, which is something that is nurtured. Of course, are we to believe that Jesus didn't have a dual activated body? Of course not. This is completely achievable from anybody, because we're all humans and we all have the capacity to feel the energy of the universe. There is no limit to you. And I want to leave that there, because a lot of people may feel, oh, I'm not a graduate, they are better than us, I'm not a wanderer, they are so high. Forget about all that. Everybody's a human here. Everybody is an entity in the universe. Everybody is God. How about that? How about we put the law of one on the side and simply reside in the oneness of every one of us? We wouldn't have to get into this complexity. This is why I say to all my students that law of one, Kabbalah, Tarot, whatever, Christianity, Course in Miracles, all of this stuff is complementary to the simple realization of oneness. Once you realize this, all of this can come as a supplement to who you are, what you know, and it's just enjoying life. This is enjoying life. This shouldn't be, you know, the way in which you understand yourself. It's too complex. The way in which you understand yourself is just going to the true nature of who you are. And this is just the way I teach. This is how I like. Some people like to go through yoga practices and 20 years of mantra meditation and so on. That's fine. Everybody has their choice. I like to go straight to the heart of things. Then we can come out and enjoy reality from a new point of view, which is the oneness in us.